to another edition of Plug Talk TV. I'm your host and the Executive Director of Powerful Leaders Uniting Generations, Ms. Paris the Plug. Powerful Leaders Uniting Generations is an organization of leaders who are committed to creating access and experience to culture by bridging generational gaps and forming intergenerational linkages through common interests. Today, we have a very special episode, celebrating Mother's Day. Now, this holiday has always been one that is extremely treasured to me because I was raised by a single mother who is now my best friend and co-host, Mommy Deshada. Of course, with the help of my late grandmother, missionary Ada E. Simpson, and my mother's 3 sisters. Not to mention, I have actually 3 phenomenal godmothers. So the opportunity to celebrate women who are amazing mother-like figures is always a joy to me. So something that I've recently become acquainted with, though, is the void that can be felt on this holiday when your mother figure isn't physically there to be celebrated. Tell me, what was your first Mother's Day like after your mother's death? Does anyone remember the first Mother's Day? I know maybe my mom can. For some of you, it may have been a very long time.
So, my first Mother's Day was feeling sad, crying in the bed. So basically, that's how I spent my first Mother's Day.
Okay.
I'm just very emotional and not wanting to be around anyone. Just hoping and wishing my mom was there, which I knew was not possible, but that's how I spent my first Mother's Day without my mom.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Since mine was only 2 years ago, I really remember it. But it was a mixed emotion because we threw a party. Because we missed her, but she had 9 children that she instilled a lot into. So I still live my day-to-day life like, what would she want us to do? Like, we still get together for every holiday because we would usually stop by her house and see each other, and that's how we stayed connected. So now we have to make an effort to stay connected. But that first Mother's Day, I wanted to be sad, but Paris took me out of town, so I had to I still have to be a mother even though I miss my mother. So now we go on yearly trips, so but I still do something with my siblings. And this will be our first year putting her grave blank, her whatever, headstone, her headstone down. So this year we'll go and we'll see the headstone and we'll celebrate and love each other like she made us.
Right.
It's beautiful.
I can't remember. I was 10 when my mother passed, and it was almost 28 years ago, so I can't remember the first Mother's Day, but I find that my first Mother's Day as a mother was a hard Mother's Day because she wasn't there, and they would never know her. So that was a difficult Mother's Day. And then with my godmother, I don't remember the Mother's Day after that either. But I remember her mother, my Gigi, my god grandma. She and I were also very close. And she passed. She died maybe 2 weeks before Mother's Day. So her funeral was the day before Mother's Day or something like that. And I remember mixed emotions, feeling very just sad because it wasn't just that mother, it was all the mothers, and then I also felt a lot of peace, in a weird way. It was the best gift for her, she got her daughter back, she got to go be with her daughter. So that's how I reconcile that. But it's pivotal Mother's Days, not the ones after.
Okay. That's a good
So
point.
weird.
Thank you for sharing that. Tell me, and I know maybe everyone might want to weigh in on this question, but tell me what you remember most about your mother.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
So my mother was the most jazziest Detroit woman ever. I'm talking, she had iced out Cardi, she had jewelry, she had her nails would match her eyeshadow to the point to where it would match her hair color. I'm talking, she got she always had her hair big, right? So she's from like the 80s, you know, where she really thrived at, and she just kept it going. She didn't care, boy, 2000, she don't care. So she got her hair big as I don't know what, and it's pink, it's black, and her nails, she was like, cause I can do it like this. Who gonna say something? And I'm like, nobody, Mom, nobody. And so what I loved about her was how vibrant she was, and with her being so vibrant, she always allowed me to be myself. So I am flamboyant, I am dramatic, and I'm 32 years old now. Well, May 8th. And I appreciate who I am because she allowed me to speak. You see so many mothers, be quiet, don't be seen, different things like that. Now my mama, that's my baby. Yeah, show me your dance. Show me your dance. I love that. And I loved it that I was always able to be seen and heard, that I can be okay with not being the center of attention, even though my voice carries so you can hear me. But I like that part about my mom.
Thank you. That's a beautiful thing.
Thanks.
So tell me this, and we can come back to that question. Feel free to weigh in on it if it just crossed your mind later on. But what do you do to protect your peace, especially on not so happy holidays or anniversaries? So holidays like Mother's Day or maybe the anniversary of your mother's death. How do you protect yourself?
So for me, I think it can always be worse. Like I think of, it seems bad, but it can get worse. You know, so that's how I move on.
Yeah.
Like it hurts, but it can be worse than what it is. So
I like
that's
it.
yeah.
Some perspective.
It is.
It's true.
For me, some days, I guess the best way to try to keep my peace is some days is with family, you know, like on holidays and stuff like that. But I guess, you know, when you're not able to get with family, then I just try to think positive, think on the bright side, you know, think about the good in the situation, you know, and then also just accepting it, you know, for what it is, you know, fate, just accepting fate, where life goes, you know. Everybody got to go one day, so
Yeah.
nobody know when, so,
That's real.
Well,
just try to accept it, you know.
Yeah, acceptance is a really big thing. It could take a long time to get to, but it's a really powerful thing to get there. And even to your point, Carol, I was watching a show the other day, and they said, you know, the same God that you complain to is the same God you thank for everything else.
Absolutely.
And I think that resonated with me so much. You know, it's just like I really do thank God for even waking up and moving my limbs. And
Right,
then,
right.
you know, something goes wrong, and I'm like, why? Thank you for your tolerance, Jesus. You know?
Right.
And to bring that even into the motherhood, there's pain in the death, but the unconditional love that we got from her, just all the lessons. So it's just like it hurt for this, but it was so good. I mean, unconditional love it's nothing like a mother's love.
So tell me, what are some of the ways that your friends or your family or both have supported you in your grief?
well, April 5th is my mother's death anniversary. I'm saying that.
Okay.
And what my cousin do is he play her music. She cook for me. Memories. We talk about memories. Like Tiki, where Tiki? Her name, we call her Tiki.
Tiki.
Yeah. Oh, Tiki is the life of the party, y'all. Don't get, you know? So it's like we talk about like what would she do? She'll get up and dance, or you know, she'll do this in this situation, you know. And that's it.
That's what y'all do.
That's what we do.
Awesome.
Mhm.
I love that. Yeah. So cool. Ron, you was gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, last year for my mom's birthday, we all got together for the first time ever, you know. So there was a time where I didn't even know her birthday, to be honest, because my mom died when I was 7. So, you know, a lot of stuff they didn't tell us. I don't know my mama's side of the family. I know a few of them. I can point a couple of them out, but that's, you know, they dropped the ball on that, you know. So, but me and my siblings, we all got together for her birthday and we just did something for her. So I guess that was just to help with the grief thing. And doing that is still kind of, just kind of bring it back up a little bit. So, but I was grateful for that though, for sure.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. Glad y'all got that opportunity. Yes, Janae.
So I think my family and friends help me in a way they don't even realize that they helping me.
Yeah.
Like with some of the things, like just watching, for example, Rikia. I'm gonna use her because she's here. Being a mom is just like helping me in ways that I know my mom would have been a mom to me if she was here, So, and then simple things like getting me out the house. You never know what somebody is going through each and every day. They may not say it, so if you just call them like, hey girl, let's go do this, or let me take you out and do this, like that helps. And it has been days where I'm like just over it, and just want to be alone, but then you got those friends like, nope, let's go out, get some sunshine, and things like that. So I think friends and family help me in ways that they don't even know. They're just doing it in silence. They don't even realize they're being a blessing to my sanity, my emotions, and everything like that.
Okay. So what is one thing that your mother taught or told you that you'd like to share with others? No, it's kind of...
Mine would be kind, be kind to others. Independence. And pray.
Yeah, all the good ones. I'll answer. My granny taught me to treat everybody right. That's what she would always tell me. That's what she asked me to do. So that's what I'm doing.
My godmom, she taught me to go for it. Like, just go for it. And she would be like, don't be no fool, though. But go for it.
Right.
Like, so be thoughtful and intentional, but don't hold back. Like,
Mama told me don't lose.
Don't lose.
Not even when I'm playing. my mama would see me outside wrestling with a guy and know I could beat him up and she called me in the house because I would sometimes you let your friends win. And my mom would tell me, don't let me catch you out there losing again. Because if you lose, they'll want to fight for real. So even when you're playing, win. Win all the time. So I'm a winner.
That's right.
So we've talked about this a little bit, but how do you celebrate Mother's Day now? Talked about your first Mother's Day. Has it changed over the years? How do you celebrate now?
Well, for me, I have 6 children. Well, 5 now, but my kids rock, especially my grown kids. Like, they are something else. So Mother's Day is huge for us, We do the whole cemetery thing the day before. But Mother's Day, it'd be all about me, and I love it. Because I'm always being the one, always there for them or whomever, and being the one to do for everybody else. So last year, though, was the best Mother's Day I've ever had. Was last year. It was, now we was at home because it was COVID. I mean, so we was stuck in the house, but I didn't have to do anything. I'm talking about they went to the grocery store, they cooked the food, everybody, like they planned it. They planned it. So and then when I tried to come in and step in and say something, Casey was like, you go on and sit in there, So it was awesome. The best Mother's Day I had ever was last year.
So do you feel that there is a stigma that you receive from your friends and your family surrounding the topic of your mom or Mother's Day in general? And can you describe that stigma? So when I say a stigma, I've talked about this topic, in preparation for this show with a couple of people, and the conversation comes up that people may be uncomfortable saying Ada, or saying Bebe, or saying Carol around you now that your mother has passed, or not even want to talk about special holidays for your mom or something like that. Maybe it could be for multiple reasons. They don't want to offend you, they don't want to hurt you, they just don't know what to say. But do you feel that this stigma exists, and can you kind of describe it? Sure, Rock.
All right, so for me, I do think the stigma exists because that's what they did my whole life, and I really ain't get no help for it. They just kind of like ain't talk about it. You know what I mean? So on Mother's Day, you don't really get that talk. You don't really on the birthdays and stuff like that. I probably was an adult when I remember her birthday. You know what I mean? And somebody told me like, yeah, it's my birthday. Like, Oh yeah, straight up. So now I can remember it now. So, I believe it is a stigma. You know what I mean? And I think for some people they need to get to the root of it. You know what I mean? And find whoever you can talk to about it. You know what I mean? Find somebody that ain't scared to talk to you about it. I just think it was just kind of like I would kind of say like I was probably robbed from it. You know what I mean? Like nobody really talk about it. So now here I am, finna be 30. You know, and you know, still healing. You know, every day it's a journey. So
For me, I believe that stigma is true with my family, because by it being so many of us, each one of us are grieving different. And it's a touchy situation or a touchy subject, because all of us haven't grieved yet, and everybody grieving different processes. And I think with me being around my mom for all the time, majority of the time, and me doing all that I could for her, I grieve different than my siblings that couldn't be there because they were in a different situation. And I think that's why it's a touchy situation between the ones that are still living, the 9 of us that are still living out of the 14. Each one of us haven't grieved yet. It's a process.
Definitely is a process. Well, thank y'all for addressing that. It's just been something that has come to me a couple of times. I wanted to know if you had experienced it and your description of it. Can you tell me how, and Rakia, you kind of just began to touch on this, but how have you been able to handle additional trauma or obstacles that come your way after you already have had the weight of a heavy loss of a mother or parent?
So for me, it's okay. So somebody just asked me this question similar to that the other day. They said, "You're so strong," and I'm like, "Well, I've only known to be strong. I lived my entire life without a mom. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, that's painful. So losing my daughter hurts, but it's nothing like not having a mother. There's no pain like that." And I don't think, like, I just told this to my kids last time. Every Sunday we get together, me and all my children, because 2 of them moved out, and we have family day every Sunday.
That's big. That's necessary.
Yeah, it's necessary.
Especially in
And we have these conversations. So we talk about things that is uncomfortable, you know, because I didn't get that coming up. So and then thanks to one of my friends. My friend is the one who started it, you know. She initiated the first one, and when they got there, she like, "This is what's gonna happen every Sunday. Y'all don't make any plans on Sunday because y'all gonna be here with y'all mama, and this is where we're gonna have family day." So that's what, you know, like, strong. That's the only way I've known to be. Like, I don't know anything different. Everything I knew, I basically taught myself. Like, I had to learn on my own. I didn't have anybody like I am to my daughter. I don't know the mother-daughter connection at all. Like, I don't even know what that feels like, you know, but I'm grateful for the ability to move on, to try to keep moving on. Talking about it helps. That's part of my healing. Like, if I talk about it, I'm good. And and I don't want to be by myself, of course. You know, I hate to be by myself, but thanks to my friends, I haven't had to be so far. My friends and family. Yeah.
That was excellent. I don't remember what the question was, but that was excellent.
No, we were
how to
talking
deal
about how
other
do you deal
traumas.
with additional
Yeah.
trauma.
So
you're
losing
saying-
my daughter, you know, and that's another thing, the pity part. Like, no, like, it hurts. It's a pain I can't even explain.
Right.
But there's nothing like not ever having a mama.
Wow.
There's no pain that can ever relate to it. I believe a mother's love is necessary. There's nothing like a mother's love, and I don't know that. So that's painful. So losing my daughter, it hurts.
Yes.
But I know for my kids, that's probably huge. Losing a sibling, it's probably really painful. But it's painful for me, but not like living your whole life without a mama. Like, there's no comparison.
Wow.
You know, I've lost a sibling. I've lost a sibling, you know, but I've lost my father, you know what I'm saying? But I had him. I had him. We had a relationship. You know, I never had that with my mom. So could you imagine a young lady not having that with their mom? That's painful. Yeah. So I've only known to be strong. I don't know any other way to be, you know.
Because mothers teach you so much.
Yes. Yes. And so my friends' moms, my aunts, Miss Simpson, though that's how I learned. I didn't know. Nobody, my stepmom unfortunately didn't teach me the things I needed to know. She didn't. You know, she did the best she could do, but she didn't teach me that. Right. So I couldn't imagine, once I started having children, I couldn't imagine not being there, you know. But I learned everything from family members or friends, and I had a couple friends whose moms were really close to me once I lost my grandmother as a teenager, you know. And that's how I learned everything, like that, you know.
And that could be connected to part of the stigma, right? Like how do you know how to be a mother? How do you know how to be something that you never had?
Exactly.
So I'm sure people, you know, question that.
So anyone else want to weigh in? How have you been able to handle additional traumas on top of having the loss of your mother?
I would say that the trauma from losing my mama prepared me for the trauma that I would get down the line. It's like she said, it's really no feeling like that, you know. Just a sense of emptiness. It's like a numbness, you know what I mean? So everything else that I really ever dealt with
was already.
Yeah, I just took it to the chin, you know. I've been to other funerals and stuff like that, but just numb to it.
Yeah, you do get like that.
Opposite kind of applies for me because I've had a lot of loss. I've lost nieces, nephews, a sister, 3 brothers, 2 brothers, a sister, a husband. You know, I'm a widow. So, and I saw my mother deal with the loss of my dad. So I knew what that widow thing was gonna, you know, I knew the pain. I kind of felt the pain that was gonna come. And I thought once I dealt with that, that was gonna be the max of my thing. You know what I mean? Like I had this connection, this unconditional, this my other half. But when losing my mama tapped my butt, that was a whole different level of grief, of pain, of brokenness. And I had to learn how to not suppress it like I did with dealing with other people, because it was even though losing your mother is a group loss if you got siblings, so it's other people losing, and I don't know if she said not having a mother would be worse. I would think the only thing could be worse than losing your mother is losing your child. Yeah. And that's always been my, like, the only thing that could ever be worse than losing your mother is losing your child.
And that probably is true if you know your mother.
Okay.
I never knew her. Okay. So I don't have the connection you have with your mom. I don't know what that looks like.
Okay.
I know the connection me and my daughters have. I know the mother side of that. I don't know how it feels to be loved by a mom.
Oh, yeah,
that's deep.
What would you say is the hardest part about you not having your mother physically here?
Oh, my children won't know her. Yeah. My children don't get to know her. And I don't get to know her as a grown-up. I was 10 years old when my mother passed. My mother, she had me at 17. She passed at 27. And I don't get to know her as a grown-up, like as a woman. And on some level, I kind of feel like I'm just getting to know her. I think you mentioned that earlier, like how your mom maybe said something 20 years ago, and it's just, I'm learning so many stories. And I had a conversation with my mother's best friend, and I haven't talked to her in over 20 years, like since I was a child, really. And we were on the phone for 4 hours, and she was just telling me stories and stories and stories about my mom. So I felt like I was just getting to meet her as a grown-up and have more respect for her versus judgment for what she couldn't do as a young mother. But the kids won't know her. That's the hardest part. And my husband won't know her.
What about anyone else? Sure. What is the hardest part about not having your mother physically here with you?
Well, me.
Go ahead.
Well, me not, she was my best friend, so I can go to her and talk to her about anything. And for me not doing that right now to this day, it still hurts. I have my first kid. She won't be able to see my son. I wish she was there when I gave birth, because I had it was bad. My son was 1 pound, 13 ounces. I almost lost my kid, So, I just wish she was here so she can comfort me, give me a hug, tell me it's going to be okay sometimes when I'm going through things.
Yeah.
So, that's what I miss.
Oh, and what you said too, Carol, my grandma would tell me, trust in the Lord, until you die. And so my granny wanted me to make sure that I was still on the battlefield and that I was still keeping it going. So I think an uplifting thing that I would share with others is just to trust what you learned. Like, try to hear that voice, all the things that they've told you, and do it, So I want to thank all of you for your vulnerability, your love, your patience, for being here, for sharing with me. And I want to thank all of our viewers for watching. Thank you for watching Plug Talk TV. I am your host, Miss Paris the Plug, and I'm very grateful, to be chosen by the great I Am to facilitate this very helpful, this very healing conversation. I want to thank a special thank you to my mother, who is my co-host and my best friend, for everything that you do, always. I could not do this without you. Not the show, not life. I appreciate you so much. And to all of the plugs, all of you, the powerful leaders who have shared with us today, I'm just so grateful. Happy Mother's Day to all of the people in Detroit, all of the mother figures in Detroit and beyond. And in the words of Tupac Shakur, you are appreciated. We'll see you next month. This is Plug Talk. No. Shout out DMX too. Shout out DMX.